Welcome back. The International Day of Democracy is being celebrated today by the United Nations. This year's theme is to highlight the challenges and opportunities of young people who are engaging in democratic processes. But there's been reservations about whether this day should be celebrated at all. The former president of Latvia has expressed his concern, along with 97 democratic former presidents and prime ministers who are members of the Club de Madrid. Well, let's speak to the former Italian Prime Minister and former President of the European Commission, Romano Prodi, who joins me live from Bologna. Thank you so much for being with us here on Global. What do you make of this day?
Look, the problem is clearly we need an expansion of democracy, but it's not going so badly. Step by step, new states are coming ups and downs, but in the right direction. What I'm worried is the diminishing confidence in the ancient and more strongest democratic countries about democracy. People vote less and less, there is no confidence, and you have to be very, very anxious about that, you know. The explanation is, look, we have elections always, and we think that elections are enough, you know. So we have municipal election, provincial, regional, national, European, and, you know, and all the politicians, they shorten the view. And the problems are long-term view, and the horizon is short-term view. And so I see an enormous gap between democracy and delivering the results of democracy.
It's one of those things that plague politicians right across the globe, that concentration on short-termism. Politicians almost addicted to it. But when you look at the globe, do you think 2014 has been the year of setbacks for democracy? You look at the way it's been undermined in Ukraine, you look at what's going on with those countries that were involved in the Arab Spring.
No, look, there is never an immediate step back. There are battles about democracy. You know, look, the Arab Spring, you know, we were full of hope, but we knew very well how difficult was democracy in that state. You know, so the step back was not a surprise. At least Tunisia is still fully democratic. You know, and we cannot think to change people in one day. Democracy means education, means middle class, means, you know, self-consciousness of people. You don't create in 1 year. This is why my worry is if the long-term democracy can be an example in the world. You know, this is my real worry. If we are an example, other countries will follow.
And in terms of the challenges, we were talking in the introduction about the challenges for young people trying to engage in democratic processes. What do you think those challenges are?
Yeah, young people, when I say democracy must deliver, I am deeply concerned about young people, you know. If there is stagnation, if there is unemployment, if, and this is the most important, there is such a gap between wealthy and well-to-do and very, very poor, and this gap is increasing, you know. Look, the young people say, look, this democracy is not for us. This democracy is for other people. But we have no jobs, we can be only lower class and so on, and this is, you know, my real worry, and this is why I'm worried about the answer of the short-termism of the answer, you know. And if we go on in this way, and this becomes, people don't understand that, but it's more important because of the opinion polls. You know, the opinion polls transform any election in an important election. Even the most local election becomes important because of demoscopic analysis, you know. And so this gives instability to the democratic process. And if the dictators deliver and we don't, you know, if China makes reforms and US or Europe don't do it, you know, democracy is in danger.
Let me ask you,
this is my opinion.
Let me ask you whilst you're with us, because you're on record, you've spoken about Scotland with the upcoming referendum. What are the major questions that would have to be addressed if there is a yes vote? Clearly it's for the people of Scotland to decide, but if there is a yes vote, what do you think are the fundamental questions with Scotland, the EU, that need to be answered?
Well, I wrote yesterday about that. If the yes prevails, clearly there are, first of all, British consequences inside the UK, you know. Certainly, I was joking, telling can be still called UK, you know, but because the majority will shift always or mainly to the Conservatives, and you know, there will be new, but outside UK you will have a lot of necessity to have immediate negotiation with Europe, you know, because of the deep change. And what I am afraid, because you understand me, I am very pro-European, and I want UK stay in Europe, you know. Okay. I think that the anti-European group will increase in strength, you know. So the consequence of yes will be of a weakness, first of all, a weakness of UK inside Europe, and a higher probability of exit of United Kingdom.
Well, Romano Prodi, thank you very much for joining us here on Global. Well, just as Romano Prodi speaking to us, David Cameron is speaking in Aberdeen. Let's briefly just dip in, because he too talking about the consequences of a yes vote.
And it would mean for any banks that remain in Scotland, if they ever got into trouble, it would be Scottish taxpayers and Scottish taxpayers alone that would bear the costs. It would mean that we no longer pool resources across the whole of our United Kingdom to pay for institutions like our National Health Service or our welfare system. This is not guesswork. There are no question marks, no maybe this or maybe that. The nationalists want to break up UK funding on pensions, the UK funding on healthcare, the UK funding and comprehensive protection on national security. These are the facts. This is what would happen. An end to the things that we share together. And the people of Scotland must know these facts before they make this once and for all decision. Now, to warn of the consequences is not to say...
Well, there we're going to leave David Cameron, a major speech with just a couple of days of real campaigning to go. Plenty more here on Global. Do join me at the same time tomorrow, but for today, thanks very much for watching.